make the news.
That's fine.
Okay, so what you had there is a little bit of an interaction during a protest back in 2019. A man named Mark Bartlett and his wife jumping out of their car that had been stopped by a protest and rushing the kids who were protesting. Mark Bartlett decided to bring his gun because America. And so we want to catch you up on this because there are now some consequences for this, and it's taken perhaps an even worse turn. But before we give you the details, we want you to understand the interaction. So we're gonna show you more of the footage, but you need to understand there's not much dialogue because so much of it has to be bleeped out. And that is both, it's a melange really, of traditional swears and Mark Bartlett repeatedly yelling the N-word. So with that said, take a look.
She's so violent. You just ran over me. You just ran over my foot. You're tired. No, you're not. You're right here. You ran over my foot.
Don't touch me, bro.
You just touched me, you bunch of thugs. That guy in the red. Yeah, right behind this guy. You ran over my foot. You guys keep moving. And this guy right now.
I'll be on the news. Y'all gonna make the news.
That's fine.
All right.
Put that gun to my head.
Okay, so there's other video, by the way. That was just one of the times they got out of their car. And there's also footage from when they were in their cars. So at one point, Mark Bartlett was driving his car and someone was filming him in his car. And he was just shouting N-words suck over and over and over again, to give you an idea. I do like it when people find their soulmate though. The fact that she ran up on those kids and immediately called them a bunch of thugs. Like they really did find each other, JR. So yeah, that's good.
Yeah, they're meant to be. But this is the thing, as I'm sure you're gonna get to what their defense is on this. But yes. Usually if you're trying to, maybe you're worried about a certain group of people and you're the victim here, you usually don't run up on them, get in their face, and call them a bunch of names. Because that's how people act when they're worried or threatened or feel like somebody's coming for them. They come after the perceived threat first. Because that's how things usually work here. When you have a car and kids are on bikes, because that's an even match up there. I get the inconvenience if you're upset about being stopped. I get inconvenienced by Priuses every day. Doesn't mean I jump out and then run up on them and say, "How dare you block this way? You're driving 25 miles an hour on the freeway." Like all that stuff. It doesn't mean you have to then become the aggressor on this. Like
totally,
people like the level of anger that happens from a simple thing like this, and you're packing your gun while you call other people thugs. Yeah. It's just the irony is dripping here.
100%. Like I don't know what a thug is, but running up and threatening kids with a gun seems like one thing. And look, honestly, like it's a really aggressive thing to do, especially if you have whatever thing is affecting him that causes him to walk like this, whatever that is. Be more careful starting fights with people if you have whatever that is, whatever this is. Anyway, let me get the details of what was going on. So back on MLK Day in 2019 in Miami, where the footage takes place, a group of teenagers, boys and girls, some as young as 11 years old, were protesting the lack of affordable housing there. The boys rode their bicycles to Brickell as part of Bikes Up, Guns Down, a nationwide movement for public MLK Day group rideouts to protest racial injustice. So this is awesome. I understand it's inconvenient or whatever, but those kids are doing what you're supposed to do. Like this is an American thing, trying to raise awareness around serious issues. One boy held up a Save Liberty Square sign referring to the community where a historic public housing project for blacks first opened back in 1937. And BLM in general at that time was advocating stopping traffic as a form of civil disobedience to disrupt the daily life of people who might otherwise be unaware of their plight. And I sort of get it. Like, okay, you don't want them to stop traffic. You just want what? You want to be able to continue on with your life the way it was without having to learn about anything that inconveniences you, which I sort of get. But anyway, as a result of what you saw there, Mark Bartlett is facing 5 felony charges of carrying a concealed weapon, 3 counts of aggravated assault with prejudice, and improper exhibition of a firearm. He says that he got out of his car to confront the protesters with his gun because he feared for his wife's safety.
Oh, yeah.
An officer on the scene said he saw the kids obstructing traffic but saw no need to exit his vehicle. His attorney said they're riding up to vehicles, they're banging on cars, they're scaring people. They have masks on, they're scaring people. I have a feeling that their opposition to masks probably is consistent. But anyway, so his wife was in danger, supposedly. She ran out and got up on them, and said that they'd ran over their foot. And I don't think that he did. And even if he did, it's not that bad. But I don't think that he did. So you can't endanger yourself and then claim I can use deadly force because of how scared I am. Except that in America, you very much can, because we call that standing your ground now. And that is the defense that he is gonna be taking, JR.
Cool.
They put themselves in danger, get really, really scared, and then their fear is the excuse to potentially murder someone. So I don't know if it's gonna work, but this is the defense he's using.
Well, this is the same thing. This is the Ken and Karen thing. We saw the couple in Missouri, in St. Louis area, come out with long rifles and then a handgun and talk about standing your ground because people were walking in front of their house to somewhere else, by the way. So it's become like there's like the incentives for whether or not you're gonna do a certain thing that's aggressive and violent and potentially murderous from when we saw this happen in Florida before. So you kill someone and you can get off from saying you're standing your ground no matter what the situation is. Yep. So we talk about like these incentives for whether or not you're gonna try and keep people from committing crimes, or whether or not you're gonna go ahead and tell them they can do it. This has been telling all these folks, especially in states like Florida, hey, if you have a gun and you see the wrong kind of person out there that generally we can assume the police will side with you on, you can pull your gun out and say they were threatening you. Because in general, the police believe they're threatening too. That's what they do. Like they're all learning the same lesson. Yeah. Hey, black folks, no matter what their age, no matter what they're on, no matter where they are, no matter what they're doing in that space, they're threatening. And as long as I say they're threatening, because I'm the scared white person, everyone else is gonna believe me. Yeah. And the sad part is that's not like a radical argument from them. It's been used over and over and over again. That's why they're using it again now, because they get away with it because of that argument.
Totally, yeah, totally. And they almost always do. This maybe is too crazy of an example, but honestly, who knows? Like the fact that he's running at people with a gun doesn't seem to him to take away from the fact that he's standing his ground and in defense. By the way, the idea of acting in self-defense already existed. Perfectly good. If you were actually defending yourself, that was not good enough for these people. And so right wingers around the country decided it is not quite easy enough for white people to murder black people. So we're gonna come up with stand your ground. And now it's been passed all over the country. And so what are we supposed to do, JR? Like you have to get legislatures in all these different countries to overturn it. Or in theory, get a Supreme Court that's sane. Except how are we supposed to do that in the next 20 years? So, I mean, how many incidents are we gonna have like this? This one thankfully didn't result in anyone being shot, but often they do. And we're seemingly stuck with this for some time.
Well, if I'm not sure if these gun experts and people that talk about the gun usage and safeties, I'm not sure if this guy was using the correct gun safety protocols and all that stuff, running out waving his gun, which again, if it's in the wrong kind of a situation, could easily accidentally shoot someone and say, oh, well, they were attacking me. Now you have to come up with excuses. There's a reason why you don't bring these types of weapons into a general disagreement or anger based off of what they're doing. Hey, drive by and yell at them. I don't agree. Keep going, bro. Like, why does it have to get to this point? Yeah. There's this anger with anyone who's doing anything for themselves or disagrees with what you think normal society should be. Yeah, fine, be mad and disagree. I see protests all the time. We drove up to Napa over the weekend. I saw Trump signs. I saw dump Gavin Newsom signs and keep California safe signs. I saw protests in the streets. I saw all that stuff. It's weird. It's weird. I didn't go to the local gun shop and find a gun and go, I'm gonna go tell them to get a piece of my mind.
Did you not have time or? Yeah, and I'm glad that you didn't, because we know how juries end up adjudicating all this. Let's play a little quick mind game. So he said, I have to have this gun because those kids will kill my wife and they'll kill me. I might be killed, so I need to have this gun. Here, let's flip this around. If those kids had beaten him to death with a bicycle because a guy was running at them with a firearm, were they standing their ground? Would they have been? They were scared. I mean, after all, on their side, they can at least say the other guy has a gun. That seems to buttress their argument. When the woman was getting in their face and like pushing them and stuff, could they have stood their ground there? She was being very aggressive. A crazy person got out of a car and rushed them. But you know that that's not how anyone would actually adjudicate that. The white guy with the gun, or the guy that at least looks white in the video, I have no idea who he actually is going to be able to say these unarmed kids who are literally doing a bikes up, guns down movement are scary. But me with a gun, I'm not. No one can actually be scared by this. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah, because the mere existence of you, as even as a black teenager, I don't know how old these guys were, your mere existence is a threat. That's what we've been taught. That's what the police have been believing, and that's what general society thinks as well. You're a threat because you exist. I can have a gun. I'm still not a threat if I'm this guy.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.